I heard him now. I don't know how to react. Or circulating.
I like when she was a little closer, but I was like, yeah, eventually.
An accurate way of expression.
Yeah.
The horizon.
Yes. I introduced how we started out as living retreats.
I heard the story.
We did this at the opening.
Going all the way back to Rancho South.
Right? You tell me a story.
She did the whole thing. She did share the whole thing. She was that interesting. She did share everything, but not just. Isa,
You wanted to talk about?
Share how liberty arising came about and
Yeah. You've already told, I just found out, Mursshud already told the story. So what could we add to the story? I wouldn't hear from you when you told the story. So.
My story was simple to say that we started Liberty Retreat in Malibu.
And we noticed people were advancing.
We moved to Rancho Santa Fe.
Right.
We were giving the retreats there. These style of retreats in a way were birthed in Rancho Santa Fe.
Right.
And and then we, out of that, became Liberty, this place, this property, and we started calling it Liberty Retreat in the beginning. But we noticed people were advancing, not retreating.
Right.
So, so I explained how first you take yourself out of the noise and the mind net of the city, your dense populations. You come into a more quiet place, which ranged both Malibu up on the hills overlooking the ocean and Rancho Santa Fe in those beautiful eucalyptus groves gave that kind of protection and solace and feeling of retreat from that noise. So we put ourselves into special work. And then we branched out into this land, which has lots of space, and noticing that people weren't retreating, but we were all advancing. So we decided to officially change the name to Liberty Advance. And then we've been like that for quite some time, advancing. And we had a special meeting in the Love Family Home in Encinitas, where some of us came together and something is arising, like there's another incarnation or transformation occurring and coming to be right now. So there's a new energy in the space, and it feels like what we've been talking about in Tantra: effortless ease, a bubbly effervescence, healing naturally, self-arising, self-liberating. All the work that we've done is paying off, and we can let go and release and let be and become and be that space for everybody who comes here.
The core karma of this planet has been processed in this cauldron that was created with us here. And we took it on. We took on the core karma of the planet. I mentioned when I talked the other night about the being that brought what we call modern Tantra. The reason we have the word and all of that is an Indian Siddha brought his realization of Buddhism to Tibet as Tantra. And he made a vow. And it was his unique version of the Mahabudra vow, that he would incarnate until the bowels of hell are empty. He would continue to incarnate until the bowels of hell are empty. So we, without telling the whole story of it, Mursshud and I were just sharing about that. as part of the inspiration of what Jim was bringing up, it got us starting to have a little conversation. And we just saw that we got this gigantic bucket of karma that it's always unexpected, because you come with a vision, you come with an ideal, you come with you can feel in your heart why you're here. You can feel that you're a stranger in a strange land. You can feel that you're not really from here. You can look at like the newspapers and everything goes on and the way things happen around here. And you just know that this isn't right. And you can remember, and I've never met anybody yet that can't remember some time when they were a child, usually between ages 3 and 8, somewhere in there, where they can't remember time when they looked at the world of the big people around them and they knew that they were insane. And then we don't have for those of you that have studied Rudy's work and understand his way of speaking, we don't have the psychic muscles built at that point to be able to contain our integrity of vision. And so, at least in the old paradigm, that we came here to correct. The old paradigm we get covered over, and then we have to somehow figure out how to find a source of knowledge and wisdom and practice to uncover ourselves and become again like a little child, to use the words of the Master Jesus. Childlike, not childish. So there's everybody can feel how it's supposed to be. And notice that it's not that way. And if there were any hope of it becoming like it's supposed to be, it can only happen if we made that in ourselves, and then having made it in ourselves, and also in the process of making it in ourselves, noticed other people who are making it in themselves. And almost like a whole, a being that was whole, made a conscious decision to come into a certain world at a certain time that was ripe for transformation and break into many parts and in different times and places and forms. And then, of course, the being would naturally reassemble. It would be magnetically attracted to reassembling and become whole again. And in the process, everything that was not that wholeness, and the wholeness and the vision and the experience we all hold in our hearts of the world that we come from, how it really is, and how we can say here how it's supposed to be, because we know how it's supposed to be. We know what's pure. We know the purity. We can feel it. We can see it. And that being, that's the job of that being, to all the pieces gradually come back together. And at a certain point, everything that was not that is processed. And then there is a moment where that's complete and the arising begins. And I know for Mursshud and I, we took all this on in the beginning. We come from these lineages of Tantra masters. That's, our home, and the one who brought us together in the moment of a flash of light. It brought us together to be the vessel out of which all this arose, is of that lineage, and of that promise, and of that intention. And so, in a way, we work very hard, and we do the best we can to create in what is in front of us. In another way, there are moments when we realize that there is really no doing, and it's just all happening. And there's never any way to reconcile those things, because they're just like what you were talking about. There's doing, but if you're not identified with the doing as the doer, you work as hard as you can all the time. You give every ounce of yourself to what is your truth, what is your ideal. And at the same time, you allow the fact that your power is nothing compared to the power that wants, that intends for wholeness to be rediscovered in a broken world. A world in which what we call the archetypes, the perfect forms, have fallen into a broken, darkened, and low vibrational state. And we come into that broken world, that world where, like that film Dark City was a good example of it, and like The Matrix, really good example of it. We come into that broken world, and we are here to reform the whole, and out of that reforming, nothing else needs to be done. The city of light comes from that reforming and arises into the space that we occupy. Then a frequency is emitted out into the universe. And everyone who is here for this purpose in the whole world is tuning to that frequency, like in that film Close Encounters of a Third Kind. All of a sudden, whoa. I mean, how did anybody get here? You know what I'm saying? It's that frequency. It's the only way anybody got here. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense that this group of people have nothing in common, never knew each other, more or less, and wouldn't meet and really don't have any reason to be sitting here together. There's no other reason for it. And all of a sudden, and then it becomes a mass arriving. And that door opened here, this retreat. We've done this for 20 odd years or so, but the door is opening this retreat. And so Liberty Advance, the city of light, is now in this world, and it is arising. And we are that city, and we are its citizens as well. And we have nothing else to do but to be. See, confirmation. We have nothing else to do but to be what we are in this moment. Because this moment is the perfect moment, and it is the only moment. And this moment can expand into the endless moment, because we're all here now, fully present. So, where'd Jackie drag go? Is that good enough?
Good enough.
Great. I hope you wrote all that down for the description. Thanks.
Isa, just one thing I'd like to say about the word retreat. The U.S. Army does not retreat. They make tactical withdrawals.
That's right. We've made many tactical
Right. So the concept of a tactical withdrawal is we're in our lives, we're in the situation that we're in. We're like, this isn't working. We need to take a step back, look at things, reassess, and then come back in greater force, stronger at a later date.
We need to advance.
Yes.
That's exactly what this phase has been. And now that phase is done. It's in. The work is over. We are the arising. In a sense, all of this happened in one expanded moment. In a sense, nobody was here. I can see everybody sees this and feels it because it's true. No, yeah. Speaking of wind, I'm going to go and pee out those back.
Oh, well, he might break some wind.
I did break wind, that's what you see out there.
I'm so grateful in this moment to be in this room at this exact time. For me, Megan told me I made it. I said I need, and I use the word need consciously. I need to be at this retreat or this calling. I've been gone and away from here, and really from the school at Mars for a little over a year now. And this came up, and I just was this calling. I need to be here. I felt something. I felt something deep inside of my heart, and in my gut, that there was going to be something that was going to happen that was completely different than anything that any of us had experienced at this place at any time. And I didn't know any of this was happening. You know, I know that you all have been meeting at the house. I've been working in San Diego and doing my thing. This is all confirmation, and I'm just extremely grateful for the experience that I had here and being here at this moment in the new arising. Thank you.
I think it's appropriate.
Yes, it is.
The timing and the evolution of this space over many, many years. It certainly feels like it has evolved beyond advancing and is sort of leveling up into a new horizon.
Keep an eye out for the new website.
Here goes the business vibes now. All right, come on. How are we gonna market this?
T-shirt.
Those old ones are gonna be on eBay for a lot.
And also the spiritual mind too, because in order to spread the message,
Is
is
that-
market.
Go get that. Old school function with the Liberty Band t-shirts. Time capsule.
Renaissance sound of silence. Listen to that sound of silence. It's deafening. When that sound just comes in and takes over, you always know that truth has been spoken, because that's what kills the noise. Karma is just a noise, it's just a sound. The body is made out of karma, and it's like a crystal that's cloudy. It can be purified because its nature is just light, the crystal. And that, when you hear it, when you're immersed in that sound, that's the purification of the crystal going on. And the more time you spend in that sound, the clearer everything becomes. I know that sometimes people think they have problems of various kinds. I heard somebody say on the telephone today that somebody that they knew had emotional problems, that I thought, what's that? Any box that you create to put yourself in is just a prison that you'll ultimately break out of, or you'll die in it, either one. It can always go either way. But I really think that in essence we are all Alfred E. Newman. What? Be worried? It's like, he was an icon of Mad Magazine, for those of you who don't know, but it's like, in the sound, our problems, the illusion of problems dissolve. When Kalaialani, he had that song come to him, and it just stopped the life he was in, and a whole new life started. And that, basically, that song is what processed it into the person he would become. Same thing happened to me just before the initiator who came in and annihilated everything that existed in my life, and out of which all this started arising. About 3 months before he came in, I was just being quiet. And these words came to me. Whatever has to be given, let it be given. And whatever has to be taken away, let it be taken away for this existence to realize its meaning. And that just came to me. Whatever has to be given, let it be given. Whatever has to be taken away, let it be taken away for this existence to realize its meaning. And that just came into me. And then it started going like a prayer wheel in my heart. And it didn't stop. It's like I'd go to bed at night, wake up in the morning, it's just always going. And then someone came into my life who I've known for a long time, a really great, spiritual adept named Paul Reps, and he just, he was this kind of person that would just say, he just looked at me and said, "Do you mind if I destroy everything you're doing?" He just said that right out of the blue. And I looked at that and I thought, no, that's okay, because anything that is really supposed to be there will come back or won't be destroyed. I said, okay, that's not something to worry about. And it happened. And then this being of light named Hassan came in and just spent 3 days, and it was kind of like, like an eradication of all frequencies that had held the world together. My little post-tempo world. But not just like the outer part, but just the core frequencies of karma. So we all have that in us already happening. And everything we do here, we come together to allow that process to occur. We come together in this place just to have everything else be out of the way, because that machine of transformation is in the land. Mursshud decided she wanted to take on finding a land for this community. The community had been around for a decade or two, and everybody had been thinking about, we need land in the community. And, it either didn't happen or it was a false start. She picked it up. She went and looked around, and she found this place, and she buy the financing and everything. She did it all herself. I heard not to even help, not to even look at anything she had done, because it was like she came through to do this. And this piece of land, it was like this before we came. There's a very special rock out there, a flat rock. It's on a little slant, really big one, that where the ceremonies occurred, way before this, modern incursion from Europe happened. Way before all of that. This land, it is that. And those who came to be free were drawn here. And every time we do this, that's all that happens. I mean, we get together, we have fun, we do all these teachings, we do all these practices, we share noble and wonderful thoughts. And no matter what we do, and no matter what label that course happens to be at the time, that's all that's happening. And it's amazing. It's just, I'm sitting here with Rachel, she's just so beaming, so full of joy and freedom. And I've known Rachel for a decade or so, anyhow. And it's like that was one moment. Remember way back then, however you thought you were, after the three-way happened that blew up the previous relationship, that one. Starting then to now, it's like just one moment. You can't even experience the time in it. It's like one moment. This is you. And that's all that happens here. I spent a bit of time with Ramdas, and he invited me to the first summer of Naropa, this Buddhist institute that Chogyam Trungpa started in Naropa, in Boulder, Colorado, in 1974. And he wanted me to do there were at least 1,000 or so people, and so he was doing 3 nights a week, and Trungpa Rinpoche was doing 3 nights a week, and he needed help teaching, and because we did a little stage show with the mantras, like Krishna Das was there, and so we did those kind of mantras, and Ramdas would always say, and this was what really the essence of what came through him. He said, all we have to do is be together, and it all happens. And I feel like that could be the motto of Liberty Arising. That's all that happened. We have been involved in so many activities, so many thoughts, and so many people coming and going through here. And yet on this piece of land, all that ever happened is, all we had to do is be together. We have to be together, it's all happening, just because we came together. It's like the opposites come together, and then everything that was opposite is destroyed, like nitroglycerin. It's the essence of what Jim was presenting to us. Bring the opposites together, and everything that was separate is obliterated, and only wholeness remains. That's Liberty Arising.
All we have to do is be together.
And it all happens.
Like Yoda.
That's it.
Alright.
There it comes in that sound again, that sound of silence. It comes in like a torrential rain when the truth is spoken. Because the truth creates unity out of fracturedness, noise.
Say that again?
The truth creates unity out of the fracturedness of noise.
Stop now.
Yep. All right, well, that was 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That was an expanded 15 minutes.
That's a brilliant idea while we're all in this room to get a group photo, because everybody's here. We did lose 2 people this morning, but before we lose the next person who has to go.
Well, who's going to take it?
That's the beauty.
You can't
I do a self-timer.
set up a timer.
That's the beauty of technology, self-timer.
And it would be wonderful if someone wants to maybe run outside and see if they can find
Garrett and.
Dustin and Kailani and Tanya, anyone who's out there.
Oh,
that can join us.
Kalani, somebody go to the,
Remy.
he's over in the,
I don't know where
I'll
Remy is.
go get Kalani.
Yeah, Remy, Garrett.
I'll go get-
Remy, Garrett.
I
Huh?
have something to
Yes, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Just
And while that's happening, just a quick
You have some-
ask if anybody needs to be part of it tomorrow, and you have
Want a
to
double
car,
chocolate.
just come say hi to me at lunch.
Want it positive.
You got some
If it
here?
works out, then I might be right. I think that would
No.
be like 9:30. So I think it would be nice to take the photo in front of the puja over there.
Yeah.
So maybe we could just create space over there. Or we could do here, it's just gonna make us harder.
Oh, yeah, let me. No, it's just you. Yeah, he'll adjust everything. He knows when you don't. Yeah.
I'd like you to.
Yeah. Sure, it's fine. We're gonna take a group picture first though. And he's actually coming over here to take a picture and then you could probably just go. And if you're hungry,
Master at
You already know I am. No, it's gonna be great. No, we need to put that. Oh, yeah, she's.
Well, we could just have a. Is it? But also, if you think of the circle. Obviously, I could put these away.
Unfold it and put the fringe on the outside. Right there. Hey, Michelle.
Sorry, Rashida. Sorry.
Michelle, just as it is, just put the fringe on the outside.
Rashida was there, she freaked me out. I know she's the blanket lady, I'm telling you.
I think Rachel was more
I see fringe on and I'm like, oh.
Rashida and I are sisters.
I like it.
I've been successful for the last 48 hours, I just had a brief moment there.
Oh, the chair. I thought you were
It's actually.
That's pretty common.
So now that I'm taking a step back, because your space feels so so I always turn that
We were taking a long time and we were trying to hear it.
I work on Hawaiian when it's right.
I'm not gonna camera.
That's not in the way.
Okay.
This is like
Kyra, I want to stretch your foot, okay? Here I go. Stretch your foot from way over here. Little stretch on your foot. I'm gonna stretch the one.
You're surrounded by
Find that over there, I can get to it.
No, I didn't. Oh, you're speaking.
Wait, now your foot's so far away. What am I gonna do? Oh. All right, now I can scratch.
Okay, so I'm gonna have everyone kind of, you can crouch down, you can sit down, we can have a few people standing, but maybe keep Michelle a little bit open in the center, so we have the roses. If I sit down, I won't be in the picture. See if I can balance everyone in here.
Alright, I see.
We're missing Masa and Isa.
wait, we're missing
It's okay. By the time we get in here, it's
Doing layers.
Yeah, let's get more people in the center. Ease it in. Oh, this is gonna be great.
East is not here.
Kind of need Isa.
Yeah.
Oh, we actually.
Can Orange get in the picture?